Okay, so we are recording now. We're going to go ahead and get started. So today is our Goalbook Toolkit overview. And so when you log on to Goalbook, you'll log on to this page, goalbookapp.com. You'll be able to sign in over here on the right. And I think it already signed me in. So after you sign in, this is what the home page of Goalbook actually looks like. I do want to point one thing out before we officially go into the different sections of Goalbook. If you click on your name over here, which you'll be sharing a name, you'll be sharing login information. One thing that you can do is click on account here, and it'll take you to this account page. And this is pretty important. You can go in here and kind of change the settings. I actually had all grade levels checked to just show what grade and subject areas that you teach in order to search all of the different content areas. There's all these subjects, grade level. Then you can just click save on that. So that's just something that I realized that I needed to go over today. And I'm going to go up here and click back to the home page, and we will get started on exploring Goalbook Toolkit.
Brandy, can I already ask you a question?
Sure.
So for those of us who had access to it last year, when I log in, I'm under a different login than I think I'm assigned to this year. Is that going to create any problems, or do I really need to make sure I get out of my last login and into the new one? I don't know if there's numbers associated with each one, how that works.
That's a really good question. I believe that they want you to use the one that is assigned to you this year.
Okay.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is just what Goalbook is. So Goalbook is an online database of special education resources for teachers. Goalbook is meant to be used as a starting place to design instruction based on students' needs. So if you look at this homepage here, you can see that at the top of the homepage, you can see the What's New section right over here. And this is just this, and it'll like give you recent updates to what Goalbook is doing to their website and anything new happening with Goalbook. Over here also, you can sign up for Goalbook Toolkit webinars, and I highly recommend that you do this at least once because they really do give you a good overview of Goalbook, and they always introduce all the new things that they're adding. They're very helpful, and they're usually, I've attended quite a few, they're only 30 minutes in length. Over here, this right side area, you can explore like the more distance learning and other resources that Goalbook has. They've included a lot of distance learning ideas and things since COVID has happened and a lot of schools are needing distance learning tools. There are multiple ways to access the Goalbook resources. One way to access it is from this top toolbar. You can click on the resources and you can access all of their different areas of resources here. The other way to access their resources is using these tiles. So the same information that is accessed from these tiles is accessed from up here, okay? And then as you save stuff to different folders, you can access your library up here and then also down here at the bottom. You'll see your library, your favorites, and you can browse content area by subject area. So I want to go through each tile and just explain how to use each area of Goalbook in order to search for the resources that you need. So the first area I want to access is the present levels wizard. So I'm just going to click on that tile. The present levels wizard is actually used to create curated content for a group of students or one particular student. You can develop the present levels in all areas of need, and you can also access assessment tools to gather baseline or progress monitoring data. So from this page, you'll just follow the prompts initially. You'll type in the student's name. I'm going to go ahead and do a demonstration and just take you guys through it. I'm going to call my student Brandy Sue. In this area, you actually type in the student's actual grade level. Don't type in where you think the student is actually performing. And I'll explain why later. But in this area, type in their actual grade level. You can check one or all of the students' areas of need. I prefer to do one area of need at a time, but you can do multiple areas if that's what you choose to do. So for this demonstration, I'm just going to do that Brandy Sue is a sixth grader and she has an area of need in the area of reading. And then I'm going to click Develop Present Levels. So you can see that the present levels takes you to this next page, and it wants you to identify the area of strength and need for your student in the area that you chose. It opens up all of these different areas of need for your particular area that you chose. Okay. So again, I'm just going to choose reading fluency for this particular student. So I'm just going to find reading fluency and I'm going to click add. And that opens up another area. So in this area, as you're refining the area that you need subject resources in for the student, you want to choose the grade level that the student is actually performing at now. So previously you chose their actual grade level. In this area, you will choose the area, the grade level that the student is performing at. If you're not sure and you're looking for a baseline for a student or a group of students, you can choose the grade level that you suspect and use the provided assessment tools that are given. You can do this for many different levels until you find the student's baseline. So I'm going to go ahead and choose that my student is actually performing at the sixth grade level. You'll see that there are highlighted areas here. You can, if you see as I hover over them, that these resources actually do come up. You can click on these areas to get a reading fluency assessment at the sixth grade level, and you can download that. If you see I'm hovering, you can download it and use that as a resource. There's also like an oral fluency scale. So regardless of what subject area that you choose, there's resources. If it's highlighted, you can hover over it, click on it, and download it, okay? And this is a present level statement that Goalbook will create. It is editable. You can click here, you can edit anything you need in this statement. You can also later on, as we continue through, you'll see that you can actually copy this and paste it into an IEP to help you create the present levels. And then you can see that those same resources are listed down here. And you can download them. You can also save them to a folder. Just a quick note on the assessment tools that are offered. Goalbook, like I just said, has all the downloadable assessment tools in all subject areas. So like I said, you can download all, if you're only looking for assessment tools, if you're doing progress monitoring, you need baseline data, you need to figure out where to go next in your instruction. If you need to report on progress reports, you can just access all of their assessment resources. So I've put in the reading fluency information, and then I'm going to scroll to the bottom and click generate present levels. Okay, so this takes me to a whole another area. I'm sorry, I got a little bit confused now. So it generated a present level statement for me. You can add another present levels area, or you can click edit the statement. And then once you edit it and it says exactly what you want it to say, you can copy the statement and then copy and paste that exact statement into your IEP. I'm not sure where. What's happening right now? I'm sorry, you guys.
Hey, Brandy, this is Deborah. I have a
Yes,
question.
go ahead.
So if we're all up in here editing all these statements,
Mhm.
wouldn't, since we're sharing our licenses with some other folks,
Uh-huh.
won't that change it for other people if they're looking at something that you're looking at?
No, it doesn't. It won't change anything because you can, as far as I've gone right now, I haven't saved anything to my library. So as you're looking through, you have the ability to save things to your library. So it doesn't change anything, it doesn't save anything until you save it to a library, if that makes any sense. So if I clicked out of
Okay.
this right now, it wouldn't save it. Even though I've input a student's name and all of the information, it's not going to save any of the information until I click Save to Library. Okay, so I could save this to my library right now, and I have a folder already for Brandy Sue, so I can click Save to the Library, and then that will save it to that particular folder. Is that answering your question?
Yeah, so we can have different files for different students.
Yes, and I'll
Ah,
definitely show you that.
cool, thank you.
You're welcome. So that's how the present levels wizard works. It's super simple. You just kind of follow the prompts like I said, like I showed you. So let's go back to the home page. So we explore the present levels wizard. I want to explore the personalized learning goal wizard in order to create standards-based IEP goals. So again, you're just going to follow the prompts. I'm going to type in my student's name again, Brandy Sue. I'm going to stick with reading. You just put in the subject area. Brandy Sue needs a learning goal in reading. Specifically you can see it gives you all the different options for reading. I'm going to go ahead and stick with fluency. And I'm going to put her actual grade level. So in this area, it says Brandy Sue is in grade 6. The next prompt says Brandy Sue's instructional level is at, and you can choose any grade level. Goalbook actually recommends keeping the instructional level at the student's actual grade level. And I'll explain that as we go on. If you do have a student that is significantly below grade level, you do have the option to choose, 3 grade levels below, 1 to 2 grade levels below. But you'll see as we go on why they do recommend keeping it at grade level. And then I'm just going to click Get Resources. Interesting. So now, okay, I'm not sure why that's happening. Maybe because I put it at 6th grade. So I'm just going to go to a lower grade. So we're going to browse instructional content according to the information that I just put in. When you get to this page, you will notice that there are 2 different colors of tiles. The blue tiles, they are referred to as anchor pages, and the gray tiles are referred to as instructional content pages. And I'm going to show you the difference between the 2. Just remember there's always search areas. If you wanted to change what area you were searching in, you just look onto the left side, change the area, and it'll keep you on this page. You can always just adjust the grade level, content area, whatever you need to do. So I do want to look at the gray instructional content tiles first. So I'm just going to click on this one. It has the standard on there, read at or above grade level. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. So when you get to this page for the gray instructional content tiles, on the right-hand side, you'll notice that you can add this goal to favorites or save to the library. So if you got to this area and you didn't have time to continue to go, you can click it as a favorite. You can also save it to your library at this stage. You will also notice that there are you can access multiple data tracking sheets and progress monitoring tools by clicking here. And then at the bottom, you can review the standard that this goal is actually written for. Over here on the left-hand side, you'll notice that the editable goal is listed. You can click the edit button to make any changes. A lot of times, there are, given a reading growth assessment, and then they have these different assessments. You can input what assessment that you use, put the student's name, and you can modify this as needed. Once you modify it or edit it, you can save it to your library to come back for later. Quick note, this goal, like I said earlier, is written at grade level. And this is the reason that Goalbook recommends that you always choose that the student's instructional level is their actual grade level, because they have this really handy dandy tool where you can choose from options to rewrite the goal with increased levels of scaffolding and support. So they have a mild level of support, a moderate level of support, and an intense level of support. I'm going to go ahead and click on the intense level of support. And this same grade level goal for the student is rewritten to show that the student needs an intense level of support. And then there, like I said, if there's something highlighted here, you can click on it and see what it's recommending. It'll give you strategies to help support the student toward this goal. I'm going to go ahead and just show you that you can click on the moderate level of support to rewrite the goal with moderate support, and you can click on mild support to rewrite the goal with mild level of support. At the bottom of the grade tiles page are some UDL aligned strategies that can be implemented when teaching toward the IEP goals. So if you're just looking for more resources, they have these UDL strategies below. Again, if you want to utilize the strategy, hover over the highlighted areas to get resources. On this same page, and I love this about Goalbook, I feel like it's super helpful. On this right-hand side, you'll see this standard staircase. And this can you can access other grade levels to see the skill in the IEP goal, how it relates to other grade levels in that same skill area. So if you have this standard or goal written at the 3rd grade level, it'll actually allow you to access that same standard as related to the 2nd grade level, kind of to see if you need to build on, you can go back a grade level and see what skill you need to build on to help the student reach that 3rd grade level mark. Okay, that is the gray instructional tiles. I'm going to go back to the home page. I'm going to go back to click on Browse Instructional Content. I'm sorry, that's not the right one. Personalized Learning Goal Wizard. I'm just going back so I can access the blue anchor tiles. Just re-putting in all the information. So we went through the gray tiles. Now I want to go through the blue anchor pages. The anchor pages, they're different from the gray tiles because these ones show the key standards for each grade level or the skills that are most assessed. So they actually have different information than the gray tiles. So we're going to explore this. When you click on one of the blue anchor tiles, you'll see that the annual target is written at grade level. Again, you can hover and get the resources for this particular goal. If you scroll down, you'll see it looks different than the gray tiles because these actually show you quarterly objectives. And then again, over on this right-hand side for this particular annual target, you can get the data tracking sheets and progress monitoring information. Also, if you continue to scroll, you'll see that there are ready-to-use resources. Goalbook has a lot of ready-to-use resources for progress monitoring data, assessment tools, for teaching different strategies. So it's really important, and I think you would really benefit from exploring Goldbook yourself to use in your classes. You can see that you can download their resources. They've also this year started changing everything so you can actually open it with Google and you can save it directly to your Google Drive, which is really helpful. I'm going to go back to the home page. So we've explored the present levels wizard. We've explored the personalized learning goal wizard. And now I want to go through the browse instructional content section. So this section has the same instructional content and progress monitoring tools as the present levels wizard, but you can search for the content differently and just kind of get straight to the instructional content without creating an entire present levels page. On the left-hand side, you can filter the content by subject area and grade level. We're going to go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and choose math. And we'll do math at 3rd grade. Okay. Also, if you know that a student has a particular standard for an IEP goal that you want to find instructional material for, you can filter by that standard, or you can type in a keyword or phrase to search. I'm going to go ahead and click one of the blue anchor tiles. So you'll see again at that, when you choose the subject area and the grade level, it will bring up an annual target goal, and also the quarterly objectives. Goalbook is actually working to add the feature of providing each annual target at grade level, approaching and developing. It's sort of similar to what we saw earlier, where you could have the goal that with mild support, moderate support, and intense support. So working at adding that to all of their annual target goals as well. It looks like this one, as far as I can tell, has not been added yet. But again, you can find all this information, progress monitoring data sheets, different helpful tools and resources for teaching, and you can add them directly to your Google Drive. So the next part that I want to explore is the strategy wizard. So you just follow the prompts again. I'm going to go ahead and stick with reading. I'm going to look for a teaching strategy for reading and in the area of fluency. And then I'm going to choose grade levels. I'm going to say I'm teaching K through 2 kiddos. Then I'm going to click Find Strategies. So you can see for every area, subject area, and grade level, when you are searching for a teaching strategy, they have so many teaching strategies. All of these tiles are different teaching strategies for you to choose from. And you just simply would click on any of the teaching strategies. Some of them are just strategies on how to teach that particular strategy, and some of them actually have resources to use for the strategy. I'm going to go ahead and click on Word Wall and see what comes up. So it'll explain the strategy at the top. It'll give you implementation tips, accessibility, how to put images, activities with word walls, and then it'll give you examples. You can see here high frequency words. It has Dolch sight words list, 1,000 high frequency words. So you can actually click on these. And it'll come up with a PDF for resources for you to create lessons if you want. Also, if you wanted to change what you are searching for, you go back home, go back to my strategy wizard. I want to do a different subject, writing. I'm going to do writing organization. You can see here all of these different writing strategies. They do have an area of graphic organizers. These become really helpful in our SAI classes. I just wanted to show you that they do have a lot of different graphic organizers. You can download them. Some areas, some resources you can't save directly to your Google Drive yet. They are continuing to update everything on their website, but you can download this and you can also save it if you want. And after you download it, you can upload it to your Google Drive. You can see some have the ability to save to your Google Drive and some don't. You can also save them to your library or click a strategy as a favorite. Really quick, I'm so sorry. I want to go back in here and show you that regardless of what strategy area you're looking for and what grade level, when you're looking for a strategy, all of the tiles will come up with the different strategies. One thing, if you're looking for strictly progress monitoring resources and strategies, that tile is always at the bottom. And then it'll just show you all the different progress monitoring resources that they have for that particular subject area. I'm going to go back to the home page. The last tile that we want to explore is browse strategies. And this is just a simpler way to browse for strategies. You can type in a keyword, subject, the barrier, grades, type of instruction, and even instructional setting. So I'm going to look for a writing strategy. I'm going to go back to, I'm going to use sentence structure. I'm going to do K through 2. Types of instruction. Are you wanting to introduce this sentence structure, practice it, reteach, assess, or reflect on? I'm going to do reteach. And I love this instructional setting. You can look for a one-to-one strategy, a small group strategy, or even a whole group strategy. Our SAI classes are usually small groups. I'm going to go ahead and click small group. So these are all of the strategies that come up for subject writing, for sentence structure for K through 2. And I'm just going to click on mini lessons for writing. It'll give you the strategy at the top again and some implementation tips. Just want to see if this one actually has resources for you to download.
Brandy,
Yes.
so can you explain kind of what the difference is in all of this? That was one of the questions. I feel like some of the, Stacy, correct me if I'm wrong, but some of those tiles do the same. Or what were you asking, Stacy? You said, what is the difference?
I was curious the difference between choosing a group and a one-on-one for the lesson. Like, why would it be different? It seems like every lesson you could do whatever you wanted with. Does that make sense?
It does. I want to see that also.
I wouldn't be surprised. It might be just the wording, like how many students in the group, things like that.
So I'm going to do introduce.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but I didn't want you to
No.
get too far before I figured out what she was asking.
Yeah, that's okay. That's really interesting. I did notice when I did the one-on-one as opposed to, okay, so let's look at, these are the one-on-one strategies that are offered. Okay. I want to see if it changes because that's not something that I've explored in depth. So we can go ahead and look right now. Small group, it seems like a couple more were added. I do wonder if what Drew said is true, if it's maybe just the wording. So that might be something you just need to kind of go through and to see what the difference is. I can just tell you that it looks like a couple more strategies were added.
Or maybe one way to think about it would be that it's like a categorical thing, right? So you'll be able to do one-to-one and small group and whole group with X, Y, and Z number of things, but there's a more limited number that only apply to whole group, or a more limited number that only apply to small group, whereas you could do everything. with a one-to-one, right? It's kind of like a which size bucket are you talking about? That might be a way to think about it.
Right. Does that make sense, Stacy? I think it's something, if you're looking for something in particular, maybe just compare the two strategies. That is our browse strategies. So we've gone through everything that Goalbook actually has to offer. What I've realized with Goalbook is they do have a lot to offer. These different tiles are a kind of different ways to just search for some of the same things, like browsing strategies, browsing instructional content, you know, the strategy wizard. You're kind of searching for the same things in a different way. The personalized learning goal wizard, again, is helping you write IEP goals for a specific student. Present levels wizard is helping you create your present levels, and then also will direct you on which goals are good for that student, and also strategies and everything to work with that student for their present levels. I do want to show you that at the bottom, if you have saved anything as you're working through, you can save it to your library. This library will be used for everybody accessing that particular Goalbook account. So it is important that you create your own folders with their own name so you know which folders and resources belong to you. I created a folder for my student, Brandy Sue. So I just want to show you something. You can actually go into a student's folder or into the classroom folder that I'll show you. If you saw that I had that math class folder, if you have strategies or resources that you want to use for a particular class, you can save them under a class name instead of just a student name. The amazing thing is that Goalbook has made this to where you can save resources and strategies, whatever you need to save for a particular student or class, and you can actually share it with someone else. And it's super easy. You just click share student, you click copy the link, and then you simply email that link to whomever you want to share this information with. Just so you know, when you share something with someone else, they do not have to have a Goalbook account. It can be a parent, another teacher that doesn't have a Goalbook account. If you want to share resources that you have found with the parent for them to work on a particular goal with a student at home, whatever you need to share, you can share with anybody. That person does not need to have a Goalbook. So we've pretty much gone through everything, all things Goalbook. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and then we can have questions.